The ultimate goal is to make the Elite Series, and that's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I finally, made the jump to try to do it this year.
That's definitely a goal to try to make the Elite Series, but it's going to be so tough.
Get up in here.
To be on the Elites probably mean everything. It's kind of my goal. I don't even know how to describe the feeling I'd get if I qualified.
Obviously my goal is, to qualify for the Elite Series, but one of the bigger goals to me is kind of become winning one of these to get to go to the Classic.
I really would like to win one, so you can just get them both done in one season, go to the Classic and the Elite Series. That's a perfect season. I'm due.
I really look forward to the challenge. I know that sounds crazy, but that's why I'm here, for the challenge of qualifying for the Elite Series and then hopefully walking across that Classic stage one day.
Yes, we are ready, and welcome to the Bassmasters. Welcome into the Bassmaster Studio, sponsored by Marathon. That is Ronnie Moore. I'm Tommy Sanders, and Ronnie, we are going to start with the St. Croix Bassmaster Opens, presented by 7. If you're not familiar with that very important tournament trail, among many important things, it is the pathway to the Bassmaster Elite Series, and now more emphasis on these Opens than ever before.
Yeah, if the question's being asked by the fans at home, how do you make it to the top level of professional fishing? Well, this is the pathway to go through. 9 events for the Bassmaster Opens. It doesn't get any easier here, though, Tommy. A bunch of semi-pro anglers, over 150, 175 anglers, all competing for this one goal. That means they're in it for the whole season, all 9 events. We're going to go through 8 different states, Tommy, and different bodies of water are going to show different looks. These anglers are going to be well equipped when they get to the Bassmaster Elite Series to compete right away.
Well, after Okeechobee, we're going to head straight over to Arkansas, Lake Ouachita, then the next event, Santee Cooper in South Carolina.
Then we'll go to Alabama, Logan Martin Lake on the Coosa River, then Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma, and Lake St. Clair in Michigan.
Leech Lake in Minnesota, followed by the upper Mississippi, La Crosse, Wisconsin, and wrap it up, Lake Hartwell in South Carolina.
And not to mention the great schedule, we also have a great list of anglers competing, a formidable group in our Bassmaster Opens, former Elite Series pros like Randall Tharp, Cliff Pace, Brett Height, Mike McClellan, Ish Monroe, and so many more that have had high success on the Elites trying to get back there, not to mention college anglers and young guns as well.
Speaking of Randall Tharp, he starts in 4th place on this final day. Let's hear from him now.
I'm thankful to be back in the Opens. Man, it's a special day. There's only 10 of us out there today, and this lake is prime. I mean, we've had great conditions this week. Probably couldn't have had any better conditions. We're going to lean on them as hard as we can. We're going to leave no stone unturned. I know this lake really, really well. I put hundreds and hundreds of days in here, and today, hopefully it's going to pay off.
We're going to have to catch them. I mean, with only 10 boats in this finals, Lake Okeechobee is fishing really good right now. I think there's a potential every single person in the top 10 could have over 20 fouls today. That's my prediction. So we got to go out today and get it done.
Well, we're ready to get it done right now. 10 boats leaving now on Championship Saturday. Okeechobee, and there's our leaderboard as it stands. Scott Martin had a great start to his tournament here. 33 pounds and 2 ounces. Fell off the pace a little bit on day number 2, but he's still in the catbird seat here, Ron.
The biggest single-day bag in the Opens history. Scott Martin set the tone big time, but like we mentioned with our field of anglers, Tommy, we have a healthy group of veterans and young guns represented in our top 10 to kick off the Open season. Lake Okeechobee's so legendary, Tommy. We got to go out with someone who knows it better than most, Randall Tharp.
Biggin. That's a biggin. Get up in here. Start the day with a 5-pounder, baby. Okeechobee, baby. That's the way they grow here. Yes, baby. In the box. We ain't even close to the juice yet. I caught 3 in practice. I caught 4 the first day and 6 yesterday. The 6 yesterday, the smallest one was a 3-pounder, so that my co-angler caught. Biggin. Yes.
Randall Tharp ready to go on Championship Saturday. Big ones in the boat already. Let's move not too far away to Matt Adams of Alabama, the former professional baseball player, starting in 8th place today.
Get out of there. It's a better fish. Come on, baby, get out of there. I can't tell how big she is. Oh gosh, she's big, big, big. Big, 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 big. Stay out of there. Come here, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Whew. That's what was here on day one. Man, look, I played baseball all the way to the highest level other than getting to play on TV for a living. And I swear to God, bass fishing gets me more than baseball ever did. I never had that. I mean, my hand's shaking. Heck, Scotty's probably down there dropping 40 on us, but it don't matter. You catch a fish like that, how fun is that? That's so fun. God, I love it. 6:15. I knew she was big. I didn't know she was that big. Ain't no place I'd rather be than Lake Okeechobee on Championship Saturday, that's for sure.
The St. Croix Bassmaster Open at Lake Okeechobee, presented by 7, is sponsored by Toyota, by Dakota Lithium, by Nitro Boats, and by Humminbird.
Lake Okeechobee is a special place. It's the headwaters of the Everglades. It's one of the largest lakes in the country. It's a natural lake. It's not man-made. It's a natural lake. It's a wonderful, wonderful place that we call home. It's a place that many people from around the world come and visit for habitat. The manatees, the eagles, the kites, they have rights too, and we have to protect this lake.
A lot of hometown talent on display here at this St. Croix Bassmaster Open, but no more high profile than that man right there, Scott Martin. This is his home lake, and as you can tell, he is a huge proponent of this lake being healthy and the future of this lake. And now we get to see him in action. His lead has been eaten into by Randall Tharp, but he's still hanging on to that lead.
Got him. Big one, dude. Giant one. Giant one, bro. I mean, a freaking 10-pounder. Now it's a 7. It's giant, bro. God, come here, dude. Come here, bro. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yes. Just one fish at a time, baby. Just one fish at a time.
What did you just say?
Just one fish at a time. Okay, we can do this. That's all I've been doing all week. Watched everybody else catch them on drop shots and stuff, dude, and they're catching whatever. I get about 10 bites a day and they weigh pretty good. That felt good. Just gotta do it 4 more times, dude, 4 more times.
Not a ton of bites, Tommy, for Scott Martin, but every one of them seems like the better size. And if you saw that drone shot, not many people around. That wasn't the case this week. A highly, highly pressured area, but he fished slower, fished a little bit off the bank from everybody else, and it's been successful. Now as we head over to somebody doing totally different strategy in the Rim Canal at Lake Okeechobee, a little bit deeper water, kind of playing with the electronics a little bit. We've seen this kid, Tommy, Tucker Smith.
Oh, absolutely. Tucker Smith, one of the greatest high school careers ever laid down by an angler. The young man from Birmingham, the Birmingham area in Alabama. His partner, Grayson Morris. And on into college, the exploits just continue. Just a great, great career for such a young man.
A 3-time high school national champion with B.A.S.S, and then he follows it up and wins the college championship last year. He's been team of the year in the points race before as well at Auburn. He is one that we've expected to step into the Opens, and it translates very quickly. So it's fitting, Tommy, in the first week of the Open season this year that he is in our top 10.
Tucker Smith, 27-6 on day 1 and 23-12 on day 2.
My shirt's stuck.
shirt was stuck. Watch out. This one's a jumper. My shirt got stuck on my reel handle. I was like, almost got slack. Here's one good one. Here we go.
Good work, man. That's a good upgrade.
Thank you. 4-pounder.
A good week to start the first 2 days for Tucker Smith. Started the day in second place, and a good start to this championship Saturday as well. But it's going to take him or anyone else who wants to hold that trophy at the end of the day. It's going to take a huge amount of work to catch Scott Martin. We'll be right back. The St. Croix Bassmaster Open at Lake Okeechobee, presented by 7, is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, by Ranger Boats, by Minn Kota, by Rapala, and by Yamaha. Let's get back out to our leader, Scott Martin, trying to go wire to wire here in his home lake, Lake Okeechobee in Florida, for his first St. Croix Bassmaster Open of the year.
All right, nice hand, folks. One of the great names in fishing, Roland Martin.
Roland Martin is the champion of the Lake Okeechobee 1991 Florida Invitational. $34,000 richer than he was this morning.
Hey, no, wait a minute. I want to turn. Hey, I've just seen Ken Cook, and I beat him. And I've just seen Jack Haynes, and I've just seen Jimmy Houston, and I beat all those guys. All those top guys, I beat them.
My dad won a Bassmasters in that same parking lot at our marina when I was like 13 years old. And that inspired me. That was kind of a defining moment for me. I remember thinking, like, I want to stand on that stage one day doing that. I was young. I don't think I'd ever thought of it in that way until that day. And so if I can pull it off today, standing in that same parking lot in front of my mom and hopefully my dad and everybody, it'd be pretty monumental for me. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh gosh, dude, I got her, bro. She's the monster, dude. Oh my gosh. Bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Magical. I don't even know, man. I mean, this is just like, I'm not even driving right now, bro. This is the man upstairs. The Lord has been good to me over the years. Wow. Wow.
Tommy, we're starting to encroach on, we're looking at the record books now. He's already got the biggest single day bag in Opens history. Now he's threatening the all-time Opens 3-day record, but someone from his home state lives down here at Okeechobee, wants to take that away, Randall Tharp.
Yeah, Randall Tharp started the day in 4th place, and we saw that good flurry he had to start his championship Saturday. He's still back there in 3rd place, though, and a long way to go to catch Scott.
Come on, just one great big freaking bite. Dude, I saw a big one with it. I saw a big one with that fish. That fish is on bed right there, and there's a big one there. Dude, when I set the hook, the big one went off to the left. Dude, the big one went this way, and I hooked that one. Gosh dang it, dude. It was at least a 4. Dadgummit. Dude, we need that giant one. We're close. We're close to a bite. I could feel it as soon as I saw those edges. Biggin. Biggin. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's another 5-pounder. Boom. Now we're gonna have to redo our cull system. Look at that trade.
Randall Tharp chipping away at it. He's just keeping his head down. That's what he's doing right now. He's got a long way. All the rest of these 8 anglers, too, trying to catch Scott Martin have got a ways to go, but Randall Tharp, now in second, is the closest, and now to a young man who has had a charmed last few months.
These guys are doing their best out there, Tommy, but they need Scott to slack off, and he's just not cutting them any slack today. As you said, we go over to Easton Fothergill.
Big one, giant. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I finally got her. Come here. Oh my God. Come here. Oh, oh my gosh. Power shot with fat baby finesse. Oh my gosh. I think that's bigger than the one I caught yesterday. Finally got a real one. Holy moly, that's a giant 9-pounder. Oh my gosh. One fish, I go from 12 to 20 pounds. One fish.
That's what you need if you're trying to come back, Tommy. A 9-pound, 1-ounce fish, an 8-pound call, and Easton's moving way up the leaderboard.
Yes, some movement going on out there, but time is ticking away. We'll be back to Lake Okeechobee. The St. Croix Bassmaster Open at Lake Okeechobee, presented by 7, sponsored by Bass Pro Shops, by Mercury, by Power Pole, and by Skeeter Boats. Third of 3 days competition here in this first Opens event of the year. Theirs is your leaderboard right now. Scott Martin, of course, started with that lead, a good lead too. And still, it is a formidable margin, 13 pounds, over 13 pounds ahead of Randall Tharp, who started down in 4th, having replaced Tucker Smith. In the 2nd place spot, Paul Marks, Matt Adams, Austin Cranford, Easton Fothergill. We saw him catch a good one and make a big move up the leaderboard. They've all got a massive amount of work to do if they're going to do anything to even get close to Scott Martin on this day. Let's get back out to Tucker Smith.
Oh, come here. Don't go around that. Don't go around that. Oh, yeah. Finally got one. Let's go. Whew. I just had one hit it and then the next one got it. Not over yet.
No, it's not over yet. Tucker Smith with a little bit of a slower start on this day. Tucker fishing a little deeper than everyone else out there, as you can see. But boy, he's making up some time as it stands right now, but time is running out. This is the final day of competition, and Scott Martin trying to put it together, wire to wire, a big win here. He has ultimate confidence in this one place, and now he's being left alone. And look at his electronics. Look closely. You'll see he's got another one scoped out.
Oh yeah, there he is in the bed right now. I don't know if he's big. He looks decent. Got him. Biggin. I don't know how big it is, dude, but it's mad. Oh yeah, biggin. It's a 10-pounder, dude. Got him. That is it, baby! Woo! Woo! That's it! Woo! Bro, on a spinning rod on a wacky worm. It's bigger than the other one, dude.
got rid of a 1 pounder. Oh my gosh, bro. I don't even know what to say right now. I want to cry, I want to jump, I'm shaking, dude. That is a big one. That might be 10 pounds. I'm gonna show y'all a call. This is a call you dream of. That is the Bassmasters Classic, baby.
You heard Scott when he pulled that one, and he knew what this means right here. This is, above all, a trip to the Bassmaster Classic, the first one to qualify for the 2025 Bassmaster Classic. Scott Martin, what an incredible job here. Now between all the home folks and Roland Martin, who 43 years ago won right here with a 16-pound average. It is a 30-plus pound average for Scott Martin.
Yeah, so many different things. We mentioned it, the Classic, the records he broke here, but to be in the parking lot in Clewiston, Florida, where he grew up, he saw his father win in this parking lot on this stage, for him to be able to get a Bassmaster victory, his first B.A.S.S. victory, and to be on Okeechobee in front of his home family, that is something special. And not only that, Tommy, record fashion, over 21 pounds over second place to win the tournament.
And that 30-pound-a-day average, of course, the biggest 3-day tournament total ever in the history of the Bassmaster. So Scott Martin, who won't be fishing the EQs, he's already a member of the Elite Series, he moves on, and he's going to fish the rest in Division I, but he's in the Classic. That's the main thing.
Yeah, Tucker Smith leading it after Okeechobee because Scott isn't in all 9 of them, and we will see who, at the end of the season, will be in the top 9 to qualify for the Elite Series.
Hey, and welcome to the Bassmaster Studio, sponsored by Marathon. And as you've noticed, if you've been with us for the past hour or so, today on the Bassmasters is all about the St. Croix Bassmaster Opens, sponsored by 7. And that's what we're covering. That's Ronnie Moore right there. I'm Tommy Sanders, and we just saw an incredible account of the very first event of the season, the 2024 season at Lake Okeechobee. But during the course of this next hour, we're going to take you through all the rest of the 8 events as well, follow all the races, take you to the conclusion of this season, which is gaining in importance every year because so many of the graduates who move on to the Elite Series make big, big impacts.
Absolutely, Tommy, and we talk about it every year, the gauntlet of the 2024 Bassmaster Opens, drama-filled, big bass-filled. We saw so many huge fish show up on lakes that we didn't expect. We had a couple new lakes kind of glimpse our Bassmaster cameras that we hadn't seen ever before. So it's great to see that. And Tommy, to start off at Okeechobee, records fell, records were made, records were broken, and the hometown guy, Scott Martin, gets the victory. But the deal was there was a little bit of uncertainty. We weren't sure what Okeechobee was going to show up, and we were really wondering, normally on those old school fisheries, Tommy, those legendary places, sometimes stump some of our younger competitors. And with the Opens field being so young, we were wondering how they handled it. But I'd say, Tommy, the young guys came well-strapped and prepared.
Oh, absolutely. And yes, it was something to deal with because of water levels, because of wind constantly changing.
Vegetation.
Made it fish smaller, much, much smaller. And that was something for these guys to deal with. Let's take you out to the lake. First, one of our new competitors for the year, fresh off a great college career from Arkansas, Bo Browning.
Absolutely. He comes from a fishing family, Tommy. Stephen Browning, his father, from the Elite Series for a long time. Bo wanting to be on the Elite Series. Fishes with Easton Fothergill as a teammate, schoolmate at Montevallo. He kind of parted off a little piece of Okeechobee to himself and was able to really make it last into a top 10. Same goes for Tucker Smith. Not something you'd expect at Okeechobee, but the rim ditch factored big time for him.
Yeah, one of the few who really survived and more than that, thrived in deeper water there at Okeechobee this special week.
Yeah, you always want to go with what your skill set is, and definitely electronics play big for some of these anglers. He found water that was unpressured, and he could do what he could do best. And speaking of that, Tommy, Easton Fothergill, I don't know what he can't do. He showed us in the college series how consistent. He showed us at last year's Classic as well. Easton became a force throughout this season, and it started early. And this catch, a 9+ pounder, Tommy, on the final day, that is definitely how you want to start your season.
Yeah, that kind of set the tone for the season as well with regard to Easton Fothergill. Just a great performance by this young man who went on to make a huge impact during this year of 2024.
Yeah, and all the young guys, they had someone to chase, though, and it was someone with so much time on this body of water, the son of Clewiston, Scott Martin.
I don't know if he's big. He looks decent. Got him. Biggin. I don't know how big it is, dude, but it's It's mad. Oh yeah, big one. It's a 10-pounder, dude. Got him. That is it, baby! Woo! Woo! That's it! Woo! Bro, on a spinning rod on the wacky worm. It's bigger than the other one, dude. Got rid of a 1-pounder. Oh my gosh, bro. That is the Bassmasters Classic, baby.
Scott Martin knows. He maybe knew at the start of this tournament after what he found that final day of practice there, a place he's very familiar with, and his patience, his diligence to work that place as efficiently and as exploitatively as possible really paid off.
Absolutely, record-breaking fashion. 3-day weight record for B.A.S.S, 90 pounds, 6 ounces. There was a point on that final day live, Tommy, where we thought, hey, one more 8-pounder and he could maybe hit 100 pounds. One more big call, but absolutely huge win for him in his hometown where his father first launched the boat to take him fishing when he was just a young boy.
And taking care of some family business here. His dad was never able to win the Bassmaster Classic. Scott's got to get back to the Classic if he's going to take care of that job, and he has pretty much secured that now. All he's got to do is fish the next 2 in that division, and he is headed to the Classic.
Yes, he's headed to the Classic, but he's not in the race for the Elite Series points race because he is on the Elites already, but Tucker Smith, after one event, is the leader there. Now, Tommy, onto a much colder, much closer to studio venue, Lake Ouachita.
Yes, Lake Ouachita, the biggest lake in the state of Arkansas, 40,000 acres. And Bass hasn't had a top-level event here in a good long time, but let's take you out to the action and Georgia's Paul Marks.
Paul Marks is a guy that we saw near Tucker Smith at Okeechobee, friends, roommates on the Opens, and he started off strong in the first 2 events. This is much more of his home-style fishing at Ouachita, so we weren't very surprised. Same goes for this guy. Sub-freezing temperatures, but for a Canadian, that's nothing.
Oh, these Canadian imports are so good as well. It's been proven over the last 6 years on the Bassmaster Elite Series, and Evan Kung keeping up that tradition.
You kind of want to look at every single Canadian result, Tommy, and see who's fishing against the current Elite Series pros that are from Canada, because you're probably going to see another one of those show up, and this was right up Evan Kung's alley. He was very rock solid the first 2 events, but like we know, there's something to be said about hometown knowledge and local advantage, and for Jeremiah Kendi, boy, he brought it.
Yeah, Jeremiah Kendi hasn't fished a B.A.S.S event in, get this, 20 years. More, 22 years. 2002, he fished an Open back in this area way back in the day, but he's been fishing other circuits. He's a very experienced, very celebrated angler.
And Tommy, we said a deep, clear Ouachita would get one on a red lipless crankbait. No one believed that, but that is what Jeremiah Kendi did, beating another local, Matt Baker, on the final day there to take his first Opens victory and to punch his ticket to the Bassmaster Classic.
Well, another hometown favorite. Jeremiah Kendi dreamed of holding up a Bassmaster trophy out here at Lake Ouachita, and there he is with 52 pounds and 3 ounces, a solid, convincing victory over fellow Arkansan Matt Baker.
Tommy, in this event, we saw almost 2 10-pounders. We had a 9-14, and then we had like a 10-14. Giant fish showed up at Ouachita, and this did not disappoint for the second stop of the season.
The St. Croix Bassmaster Opens, presented by 7, are sponsored by Toyota, by Dakota Lithium, by Nitro Boats, and by Humminbird. This is what we were expecting, headed down to the Santee Cooper Lakes in South Carolina for stop number 3 on the St. Croix Bassmaster Opens. Beautiful, beautiful weather, but that shot right there actually is from last year at Santee Cooper. It's a little bit different atmosphere this morning on Championship Saturday.
What you think? We're gonna do it. Beautiful, right? Did you bring sunscreen? I sure did. All right, good deal. I want you to get sunburned today. We ready? We're gonna go get wet for a little bit and see what happens. So, I'm excited. It's always good to fish on Championship Saturday. You know, anytime you get a chance to fish on Championship Saturday and fish a lake like Santee Cooper, you can't complain no matter what the weather is. Big one. Big one. Stay on her, baby. Come here. Good start. That's a good start right there. Championship Saturday. Good start. 5'8". Conditions are right though. Conditions are right. Big one. Good one. Stay on there. 5-pounder. Stay on there, baby. God, they're strong. Got it, boys. Got 4 and some change. God, I got a mess too. Number 2. We're getting the right bites. We can get 5 of them. Definitely getting the right ones. Number 2, going in the box. Need 3 more to go with it. We'll have a good bag today.
Well, an up and down year so far for Matt Adams. Really had a great start down at Okeechobee. Fell off the pace pretty much at Ouachita, and he's back at the Santee Cooper Lake.
Absolutely, and a guy who's back to Bassmaster, fished in the college series at Tarleton State. We knew when Dakota B.A.S. signed up at the buzzer, Tommy, 2 weeks before Okeechobee, he would be a monster in the Opens, and he is not disappointed at this point in the season. Seeing him in the top 5 at Santee is no shocker. And we talked about Bo Browning a little bit ago, and his dad, former Elite Series pro. Well, former Elite Series pro Randy Howe's son,
Classic champ
Howe,
Randy Howe,
yeah, is now wrecking havoc in the Opens himself. And on that final day, Tommy, it was wet and wild. He was one of the ones that went down to Lake Moultrie, and boy, did it pay off big for him.
Very shallow fishing a bladed jig, and really, really got great results. Very, very watchable young guy. This guy has a lot of charisma out there.
The potential. There's some guys you just have to root for, and for us, Kyle Austin has to be one of those guys, falling just short of the Elite Series in 2023 through the Opens, a spot or 2 out, about 20 points out. He wanted redemption, decided to sign up for the Opens again, and boy, as his home lake shows up on the Opens, a lot of pressure on this young man. But on that final day, throughout the whole week, he maintained control. A lot of these areas are heavily pressured. He found a spot that a local would only know, and he utilized it very well.
Yeah, that day 2 was especially important for him. 31 pounds and 8 ounces, only 2 30-plus bags brought in during the course of this week, and Kyle Austin takes that one with 83 pounds and 7 ounces. Laker Howell hangs in there for second place, and there's Scott Martin after that victory to start the season down at Lake Okeechobee with 80 pounds and 3 ounces in third. And there's your Opens EQ point standings right now. And our Canadian here, Evan Kung, making a big impact, the steadiest of them all over 3 events.
We talked about the guys who struggled and fell after Santee Cooper. A lot of the young guys that did so well in the first 2 events just plummeted outside the top 10. A couple hung on but had tough finishes. Evan Kung maintaining consistency through 3 events. Same goes for Dakota B.A.S. in second.
There's not really a game plan for Angler of the Year for me. My game plan coming into the year was to hopefully be at least in contention until we got up north, and then I was hoping to do well up there, but it's gone way better than I could have ever expected so far this year. And I'm hopefully survive the next one at Oklahoma, and then I'm excited to head back up north and fish some smallmouth.
Yeah, we got a lot of road before we get up north for Evan Kung, though, but what a great start for him. We're headed to Alabama and then Oklahoma when we come back. Hey, welcome back to our Opens extravaganza. St. Croix Bassmaster Opens presented by 7. We're taking a look at our 2024 season. Going by really quickly in our review here. We're already the 4th event of the year. The state of Alabama, the home of this young man, Tucker Smith, one of the most decorated young anglers ever. High school national champion, college national champion, and here he is on very close to his home water near Birmingham.
The only thing he hasn't done, Tommy, is make a Bassmaster Classic, and he has gotten second not only here on his home body of water at Logan Martin, he got second at Okeechobee to start our season, and he got second in the College Classic bracket last year. So Tucker's close, but it'll be his time soon.
I just tried to win every event, honestly, because I feel like if you try to win, if you don't end up winning, you still end up with a decent finish. You know, I don't go out here and try to get a check, and that's the way I like to fish, and I try to make that work at every lake.
I honestly, this wasn't one I necessarily expected to do this good in. I'm excited just to hopefully make the top 10, and if we can get out of here with a top 3 or even a win, that'd be incredible. Because like I said, I don't have much river experience, and I learned a ton this week in practice. So I'm just going to catch everything I can catch tomorrow and let the rest be what it'll be.
Good experience this week for Georgia's Emil Wagner. Now let's take a look at a true hometown favorite here. This is Josh Butler trying to win this thing wire to wire and pretty much getting it done on the final day.
Absolutely, and you can see how consistent he was on day 2 and day 3. He would have been that consistent on day 1, Tommy. He was on pace for a 14 or 15 pound bag, but he caught a giant fish, one that's huge for the Coosa River, huge anywhere we go, a 713 big bass. That goes a long way, Tommy, for a person trying to win on their home body of water. He really managed the shad spawn in the morning to perfection and then went to the tail race of the dam, waited for that water to turn on, the generation schedule, and all those spotted bass started to come into the boat.
Josh Butler had fished one B.A.S.S tournament before. It was right here in 2018, finished in the top 10. Way better than that this time around. You see, with 49 pounds even. Big convincing win by Josh Butler. Ducker Smith, we talk about his second places. That trend continues. His day is coming, as you say, Ronnie. And Eufaula, one of the stars definitely in his rookie season last year with the Bassmaster Elite Series. And now we're taking a look at some new footage here from a new location, a new scenery. Lake Eufaula, giant impoundment here in the state of Oklahoma on the Canadian River. And these Bassmaster folks really don't have a whole lot of experience here, but we're going to see what happens.
Ever since I was young, I've always wanted to be a professional fisherman. I come from a long line of fishermen. My dad, my uncles, my grandfather. I mean, being from California, it seemed like such a long shot to actually make it out east and fish professionally. It seemed like a huge dream just to even try to do it. I just stuck with it, and you know, through high school and collegiate fishing, it opened up some doors through qualifying for the national championships and meeting a lot of anglers out east and creating good relationships. I've slowly progressed myself to move out east, and now I'm here to try to pursue that passion I have.
The pursuit is working out. This has been a good week for Andrew Loberg. Not afraid of the dirty water, not afraid to get right in there and hit him right between the eyes with this football jig.
They always say the West Coast brings a diversity in fisheries, and Loberg has had plenty of experience. Tommy, I actually fished against him in college. Thank goodness I don't have to fish against him anymore. I also got to cover him in the college series for Chico State. Absolutely phenomenal angler. Knew that he would be here at some point with an opportunity to win a Bassmaster Open or make the Bassmaster Elite Series, so he has not disappointed anyone back home or myself. This guy has what it takes, Tommy, and he has shown it this week at Lake Eufaula.
Yeah, great effort this week. 49 pounds and 12 ounces, finishing up in second place. Let's get over to Matt Adams.
You know, if you think about the points too much, you can kind of get drowned in it. You've got to be careful of thinking about the points, which, I mean, human nature is that you're going to think about it. When I went into this, it wasn't a, I want to make the Elite Series. It wasn't, I'm doing this for the points. This was a, I wanted to compete at the highest level. And now as the year's gone, because of placement, obviously, human nature takes over, and you think about it. There's 4 big events left, and things can change in a hurry. As you see, if this one, things can flip in a hurry. So you just kind of try to take it one practice day at a time and try to take it one tournament day at a time. It's a big one if it's a bass. I saw her eat it. Oh, God. Oh, gosh. Come here, baby. Come here. Oh, stay down. God almighty. Stay down. It's like a 5-pounder. No, it's not. It's not 5. Probably a 4. Okay. That'll help. Let's go.
Tommy, I think you dubbed him as Matt, the roller coaster enthusiast Adams, because his season's been up and down every other event. And on this final day, Tommy, it was such an up and down day. He lost so many fish that would have had him near the top of the leaderboard. But when it all comes down to it, he didn't have a shot after this catch from Easton Fothergill basically sealed the deal.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at the size of that one. We're right back in it, baby. One bite and we're back. Oh my gosh. I can't even talk. How big is that thing? 8 3/4. What's that? He's an 8 3/4. We gotta grind now, guys. We're right back in it. It's time to lock in.
Now, Eastern Fothergill said he learned during the course of this tournament, these weren't resident fish he were catching. They were on the move, so he was on the move today. What in the world possessed him to stop at this one little rocky point and get that most unlikely outcome? Almost a 9-pounder Ronnie sealing the deal.
All I'll say is I'm glad he made that stop, Tommy, and that just goes to show how many big fish we talked about at the top of the show. This season was so phenomenal with how many big fish showed up. We had multiple 10-pounders get caught in the first few events. We've had 8 and 9-pounders show up when they shouldn't have. We had a 7-13 over at Logan Martin in our last stop, and at 5th stop here in Oklahoma, an 8-12 anchors Easton Fothergill's dream season. He was in the Classic from his college win, Tommy. He's going back to the Bassmaster Classic once again.
All right, there you go. 52 pounds and 8 ounces. A convincing victory over a tough Andrew Loberg, Connor Jacob, Trey Swindle, and Bo Thomas. Round out our top 5. Easton Fothergill on top of the pile right now. Dakota Ebear hanging tough in there. And Evan Kung, who came here with the lead, is now relegated to 3rd place.
Tommy, we talked about a couple people coming into the open season, and Cody Meyer and Dakota Ebear were 2 big names. They're both hanging in the top 5, like you mentioned. Ty Faber from the team series, now in the Opens in 6th. Tucker Smith, after a tough Santee, is back in the mix, going into stop number 6.
The St. Croix Bassmaster Opens presented by 7, sponsored by Progressive Insurance, by Ranger Boats, by Minn Kota, by Rapala, and by Yamaha. We have made our turn up north, this bucket list place for smallmouth fishing, Lake St. Clair. Let's get out in the water right now with a Texas angler who's having a great streak right now on this season of 2024, Jack York.
For sure, man. It's been a fun week. Honestly, didn't even know if I could catch 20 coming into this sturge, so definitely a pleasant surprise, but man, there's a monster bag living in Anchor Bay. That's what it's going to take for me to make a run at this thing. So we're going to go drop the trolling motor one time and don't pick it up till weigh in and throw it every big dot I see. But we'll have a good time, and this place is truly probably the best place or lake I've ever been to. I mean, there's so many big smallmouth, like a 3-pounder's nothing out here. It's kind of crazy.
Well, when a guy from Lake Fork says this is probably the greatest lake I've ever been to, that's a pretty good advertisement for Lake St. Clair. But Lake Fork is about the largemouth. Lake St. Clair is about the smallmouth. And Jack York doing what you're supposed to do out here. Remain in the top 9 and tackle warehouse EQ points.
Absolutely, Tommy. And we used to think 20 pounds of smallmouth was something that was impressive. That's something that is very replicated here. You want to build on momentum in the Opens. It's a gauntlet, like we said. In this mid-season stretch, this is going to be the best stretch of his season. It's a good time for it.
Don't know if he was expecting to do this well up north. Trevor McKinney may have, though. He's from Illinois. Trevor McKinney was our day 1 leader with 27 pounds plus.
I'd say that this event and smallmouth in general are easy for Trevor to catch, but in tournament action, Tommy, it's always a nerve-wracking thing. And I think one thing that Trevor did this year was stay in the same area. Like Jack York said, put your trolling motor down, don't run around a lot, and spend most of your time fishing.
Yeah, his patience paid off. He found one spot, he said, on day number 1 where he caught the 27 pounds. 50 casts and nothing but 50 other casts, and he got a bite. So 50 fish caught in one single place of one pile of smallmouth.
Absolutely, and we know him from the high school series when he was an All-American, almost a national champion. In the college series, he's won the bracket before and made the Bassmaster Classic. This guy, like Tucker Smith that we mentioned earlier, Tommy, his time is coming. so close to making the Elite Series year in and year out. He's going to be back in the Classic. He will be on the Elite Series one day.
Well, fresh off his college career is Aaron Jagfeld from Rochester Hills, one of the neighboring communities here on Lake St. Clair, certainly a hometown favorite. And Aaron Jagfeld is a young man we are going to be seeing a little later on today when we bring you coverage of the 2024 College Bassmaster Bracket competition. And Aaron does very, very well in that, but he's got some important work to do here on St. Clair, and he's getting it done.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that wasn't in Anchor Bay, Tommy. He was out in the middle where the Canadian border is. Like you said, he knows Lake St. Clair better than most people in this field, being a considered local, fishing over at Adrian College, not far from Lake St. Clair. And like you mentioned, he's going to have a 1 in 8 shot of making the Bassmaster Classic because he's just coming up short in the Open today. Second place to none other than this man, but honestly, Tommy, most of the Elite Series guys come in second place to this man, Jay Shakurit.
Absolutely. None of this field wanted to see Jay Shakurit sign his entry form for this tournament here on Lake St. Clair. He says, I'm going there to do exactly what I love to do, and that is catch giant smallmouth.
That's a good one to start the day out with right there. Thank you. It's like still dark out right now. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'd say he's pretty heavy. 5 1/4 to start the day. First fish of the day.
Tommy, I don't want to interrupt. Sorry for cutting in, but if a smallmouth makes Jay Shakurit smile, you know it's a big one.
It's a big one. Like you say, we're doing what we love to do here with Jay Shakurit as Catch Smallmouth, the 2022 Rookie of the Year, of course. He won 2 Opens already as a co-angler back in the day. I think one of them was on Grand Lake over in Oklahoma.
Absolutely, Tommy. He's shown every level, from the co-angler level, winning at places like Neely Henry and Grand Lake, and then going to the Opens, making the Elite Series, winning an Elite Series, breaking 100 pounds. He's done it all, Tommy, and now he's finally won a Bassmaster Open. Look at those weights, 24.3, 25.0, and 26.1 on the final day.
Yeah, he was the first to ever win a century belt on purely smallmouth. Just by a few minutes, he accomplished that, but he's still got that one in his head. And now another thing for the trophy case there for Jay Shakurit. A beautiful trophy at this win at the St. Croix Bassmaster Open at Lake St. Clair. And the college man, Aaron Jagfeld. Very, very impressive here against this tough field. Jamie Bruce, Trevor McKinney, and Trey Schroeder rounding out our top 5. And that's how we get it started here on our northern swing.
Tommy, as we look at our points, like you said, 6 events down, 3 more to go as we make our way up north even further to Minnesota and Wisconsin. Easton Fothergill going home to his neck of the woods, up by 1 over Dakota Ebert. Cody Meyer just slanking around in 3rd place. Tucker Smith, we expected him in there. Jack York, Evan Kung, he slipped in Eufaula, Oklahoma. He was worried about that one, but he has rebounded at St. Clair nicely. Loberg, Bakewell, Adams, and Emil Wagner, first man out.
There's largemouth and smallmouth, both will play in that event. I think you will definitely need some smallmouth in your bag to win, but I could see it actually being a mixed bag winning it. But you know, there's lots of wild rice, lots of lily pads, and then the lake is littered with boulders. There's boulders on the whole lake for smallmouth, and it's a giant playground, and I'm really curious to see how it'll fish with the 250 anglers. But you know, it's my home lake, and I dream about it every night, so I cannot wait for that August tournament to come.
St. Croix Bassmaster Open competitor Easton Fothergill talking about, yes, his home lake, Leech Lake in Minnesota. That is the 7th stop of the year for these Opens in 2024. Of course, Easton Fothergill is leading in the points race based on the strength of partially this right here, his first victory of the season at Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma. Not expected as a hometown favorite there, but here he will be the hometown favorite as we get started on a weather-shortened 2 days.
26 pounds and 10 ounces. And Easton Fothergill moves to the top of the leaderboard.
Well, what a head start for the hometown favorite. Easton Fothergill, on the strength of those 2 giant smallmouth, takes the lead in this weather-shortened event. What chance does the field have against him? Well, Chase Clark is one of the chasers.
Biggin. Oh my gosh. Leech Lake special, Rob G, that's for you.
2024, the year of the belly pat.
Absolutely.
The reference there to Robert G. of the Bassmaster Elite Series, a rookie who did very well and used that particular little expression there. But back to Chase Clark from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Have a really good year, 2 top 20s this year. 19th at Ouachita and 16th at Logan Martin.
Yeah, he's one of the contingents from Auburn University who's jumped in the Opens this year to give themselves a shot at the Classic.
Got him. How about that for a start?
Eastern Fothergill doing some moving around on this final day. He's going from rock pile to rock pile, looking for big, large smallmouth in this predominantly smallmouth lake. Used to be a big largemouth lake, now it's more smallmouth.
They said that the bottom of Leech has more crawfish than it has boulders, and that's saying something. But Eastern Fothergill holding serve as a local. We've seen so many local anglers use their advantage this year from past fishing trips and history to win a Bassmaster Open. He doubles up in 2024. What a awesome season for him so far, Tommy. And we're going to stick in his neck of the woods. Minnesota, we're going to go down to Wisconsin on the Mississippi River, La Crosse, Wisconsin. But Tommy, totally different body of water than Leech Lake. This place has largemouth and smallmouth. But man, it is a river if we've ever seen one. 3 pools to fish in, and you don't want to get locked out.
Yes, pools 7, 8, and 9, and travel is a big, big consideration. In fact, many of our competitors choosing to stay in pool 8 because that's where the launch is. You don't have to go through the locks, like our day 1 and 2 leader, Chris Hellebuck.
Yes, that's a good one. Yes.
Tommy, Chris has been really dealing with a smallmouth pattern out in the main river, some of those sand flats and bars that stick out. He's been catching a lot of fish, and that's what was kind of deceiving him on the final day. Had a big bag, had a lot of fish catches, but man, sometimes, Tommy, the river turns on and it goes from smallmouth to largemouth, and we saw an angler come from way back in the pack with big largemouth on the final day to pass Chris for the win.
Got him. Oh, God. Oh, man. A little too excited today. Got him that time. That's a giant. God dang it. Come on. It's a 5-pounder. Yes! God, look at that. Yes! Yes!
Tommy, you could hear the joy in his voice when he set the hook the second time. Rarely do you get the chance at a comeback bite, but he did. 2 attempts on that big one, he got him, but he had to really be stealthy in these areas, and that's what helped him get a couple key bites late.
Come on. Come on, get out of there. Come on. Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look at that. Oh, hell.
Across Wisconsin, let's get loud for your champion, Cody Stahl out of Georgia. Going to be taking home the trophy.
Hey, let's celebrate Cody Stahl. What a great season. 5 cuts made out of 9 events. Cody Stahl was a high school All-American, great college career, co-angler on the Opens, and this is the ultimate result there, sitting atop the leaderboard, the winner at the St. Croix Bassmaster Open on the Mississippi.
Cody fights off the Chris's, Tommy. Chris Hellebuck, Chris Beaudry in 2nd and 3rd. Great way to end his season, or actually we have one more event left, and this is the way our points line up with one single event left. Fothergill over Meyer, Smith, Wagner, and Loberg are your top 5.
The St. Croix Bassmaster Opens presented by 7 are sponsored by Bass Pro Shops, by Mercury, by Power Pole, and by Skeeter. Wrapping up the season in the state of Alabama. Of course, we were originally scheduled to go to Lake Hartwell in South Carolina. The remnants of Hurricane Helena really played havoc with that, so a good decision to move it to this place. It's not going to be very easy for these anglers. Very challenging lake, but a great place. And let's take a look at our point situation, Ronnie, as it stands heading into the final event.
Going into the final event, Tommy, Easton Fothergill's on top for that AOI race. Cody Meyer second, and Tucker Smith in his home state is in third.
As long as we finish in that top 9, that'd be a huge success. This means a lot. This tournament's huge. It's been a dream of mine my whole life to make the Bassmaster Elite Series. You know, I grew up as a child. It was all Bassmaster. It was the Bob Cobb days. I'm definitely a lot older than most of the kids here, but you know, I just have never really tried to make it, and so, you know, this year has been, I've been all in and excited, and hopefully we do it. You know, it'd be cool just to get a decent limit both days to try to make it.
This is the first time all season that the nerves have really hit me. You know, it's pretty high stakes this week. I'm sitting in a really good spot. If my math's correct, we locked up the Elite Series you know, ticket before we even make a cast today, which is obviously the main goal, but now I want that AOI so bad, so we just gotta perform one more time and, you know, see where the cards fall. But I'm super excited. This is my style of fishing. It's super clear water, and I'm fishing a mix of finesse and, you know, power techniques. I'm gonna start in the morning with some super light line, and then the rest of the day will be 20-pound line, so hopefully we'll have some fun this afternoon and, you know, just take it one bite at a time.
Well, Easton Fothergill's a pretty orderly guy. I don't know if he allowed himself to think much about Angler of the Year. As he said, you know, his main objective out here was make it to the Bassmaster Elite Series, and boy, he's got all the pressures off of that right now. As he said, I can do whatever I want to today. It may take all day, but I'm going to try to lock up Angler of the Year.
What you'd love, Tommy, going into the final day of your competition season would be that the other closest pursuers had a bad tournament, but that's not the case. Tucker Smith, Cody Meyer, all doing so very well at Lake Martin. This is right up their alley, but this one threw a loop for everyone. Those three anglers love Lake Hartwell and were really prepared to fish that tournament. This one threw them for a loop, and Easton kind of foretold it. He said the last 30 minutes, the last part of the day, is going to be very crucial to his success. At 2:20, with 30 minutes left in his fishing day, catches a 3-pound largemouth. That goes a long way when 10 pounds is a great bag of fish. And then Tommy followed up with one more last-second catch before calling it quits.
All these things he's accomplished out here on the Tackle Warehouse EQ race here, and think about what else he's done. Finished in the top 15 at the Bassmaster Classic in Grand Lake. I mean, this young man has been busy during 2024.
Absolutely, Tommy. He's had a blessed 2023, a blessed 2024, probably going to have a great 2025 season. With all that he's been through, these last two fish have sealed the deal for AOI.
Out of Minnesota, but representing Montevallo University, Easton Fothergill, step on up. I will tell you this, Cody Meyer's not making it easy. All right, 9-11 yesterday, 5 in the bag. 10 pounds and 4 ounces up to 11th place. 2-day total of 1915.
Well, that is the weigh-in day number 2, and Easton Fothergill doing going beyond what he thought he might achieve during this 2024 season. He came to this last event needing a top 28 finish. He finishes in 18th place and locks down not only his status on the Bassmaster Elite Series for next year, but also the St. Croix Bassmaster Opens Angler of the Year.
Absolutely, Tommy. And we gave him the final day of the season off, but he almost went to work, almost making the top 10, but this is the way they shaped out. Will Davis on top, Josh Butler, and Bobby Bakewell. That's your top 3 going into the final day of the season, the last shot at a Bassmaster Classic berth, and so much more hardware and money on the line for these 10 anglers as they finish off our 2024 Open season. As we get out to Will Davis, starting day 3, honestly, Tommy, this is a scary man across the U.S., very scary in the state of Alabama.
He can absolutely catch them everywhere. That is for sure. He owns a victory on the Bassmaster Elite Series. He won back-to-back Bass Nation championships.
Never been done.
That is a hard thing to do right there.
And Tommy, on this final day and throughout this tournament, top water was his mainstay, and he was so dominant with that technique.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Throwing that poplar around these docks. They sit up in front of that shade, and out here on this brush when it's real slick like this, so something real subtle like this Davis Kingpin, and it'll catch them. Like that right there, he had it down the hatch.
Will Davis can catch him everywhere, but especially in Alabama. And how about Alabaman Josh Butler from Hayden, Alabama, has already won this season on the St. Croix Bassmaster Opens on Logan Martin. And he is out here doing and catching a lot of small ones. Of course, that's sort of the theme this week. Everything's a little bit downsized because it is Lake Martin and it is this time of year.
Oh my God. He crushed it. You kidding me? I would have thought that'd been a 3-pounder. That's fun. I was about to reel it in. All right. My God. The same thing.
Oh man. You get a short window. Those topwater bites, you gotta take advantage of every bite you get.
Tommy, we've seen a Pop-R style lure for Will Davis. We've seen a Whopper Plopper style lure for Josh Butler, and now we're seeing a buzzbait come into play for Bobby Bakewell.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Please, Jesus. Come here, come here, come here. Please come here. Please come here. Yeah! Hey, that's why I threw the buzzbait. Whoa! Look at that one, son. I was due for a big one. Let's go! Now we really woke everybody up with this bucket. Oh my gosh. I finally had a largemouth bite. Freaking 4.5 pounder. About to have a heart attack. Four and a half. I don't think that one needs a bobber. Yes, dude, right here. Come on, son. You know what? That might be a good idea. Ooh, never fished here before in my life.
Let's bring him up here out of Orlando, Florida. 13 pounds and 12 ounces, the second biggest bag of the tournament. 35.15 is 3-day total. Dakota Ebert, we'll get you back up here in a minute. A round of applause for him. And let's see this fish, the one that caught on the buzzbait earlier today, your new leader, Bobby Bakewell. He's gone wire to wire so far. Let's welcome him up to the stage. Out of Childersburg, Alabama, Mr. Will Davis. 24.9 through his 2 days. To unseat Bobby, you need 11.7. 8 pounds and 2 ounces, and that means Bobby Bakewell is headed to the Bassmaster Classic via champion here at Lake Martin. And watch it and hold it up. Bobby Bakewell, let's hear it for him, Alexander City. He's your champion. Figuring it out with a big bag here on day number 3.
Incredible, great day for Bobby Bakewell, a great season for Bobby Bakewell, and you could say this is part of a bookend. His second best finish this year was to start our season down in Okeechobee, and he comes to a very, very different place, a very tough place at Lake Martin, and gets the job done. You can see how it all stacked up at the end of the day. Bobby Bakewell on top, the victory over Josh Butler, tough guy there. Ditto for Dakota Ebert, Will Davis, Cody Meyer. The list just goes on. Bobby Bakewell got the job done.
Absolutely, Tommy, and that was a close race for this tournament, but it's been close overall for the whole season. And coming into this final event, it was only 5 points between these three guys, Evan Kung, Matt Adams, and Bo Browning. They're all fighting for that 9th place spot, and Matt Adams had it going into the final event. But with it being so tight and the weights at Martin being so tight, we knew someone was going to get the raw end of the deal when it came to the points race, and Matt Adams just came up short. Bo Browning had such a clutch final tournament. Evan Kung sneaking in the top 20 as well, solidifying his berth. And obviously we know the top, Easton Fothergill and Cody Meyer are AOY and runner-up.
Just a great year for Easton Fothergill. Just a continuing momentum. He started way back about 2 years ago. And Cody Meyer there, big move at the end of the season. Tucker Smith has been solid since the very start of the year down in Florida. The first of our victors of the year, Scott Martin, a hometown favorite. Same thing for Jeremiah Kendi, very much a local angler, very experienced. A big victory at Lake Ouachita. Kyle Austin, ditto from right there in the Santee Cooper Lakes area. And Kyle Austin dominant on that final day especially.
Absolutely. The locals continue. Josh Butler winning at Logan Martin, but then we see a prodigy. That's Brandon Polinick's nickname, but Easton Fothergill has been nothing short of that. And then we have an Elite Series stud who has been on such a hot streak the last few years, Jay Shakira winning our 6th stop at Lake St. Clair before we make it to the last 3 events.
And our only double winner of the year, of course, is Easton Fothergill, once again, the hometown favorite. And this time, he goes at Leech Lake near his home, Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Cody Stahl on the Mississippi River, a great win that started with a goose hunt in practice, the final day of practice. And Bobby Bakewell, well, we just saw the great victory from Bobby right there, having a big mountain to climb there at the end, and he got it done on a very tough Martin Lake.
And he had never been to Lake Martin, Tommy, had never been, didn't know what to expect, but Bobby Bakewell showed up big.
Well, hey, we really appreciate you being with us on this Opens extravaganza today. The 2024 season was extraordinary and so much fun to cover, and very important, these Opens, because as what happened in 2023, 7 of the top 15 Progressive Angler of the Year finishers at the end of the year were among that graduating class from the Opens. I mean, you don't get more impactful than that.
Absolutely, Tommy. The Opens never disappoints.
All right, we'll be back next time with more of the Bassmasters. Big season coming up.